what we got going on is this hive that you're looking at, closest one to us. I was doing my inspections today and making sure the new queens were released from their cages and good to go. And what I discovered inside this hive was that the queen was very small and very weak, and what I'm assuming is that she's not mated. And after going through this hive, I discovered a week later that she's laying no brood, laying no eggs, and so the hive is very weak and it's basically dying. So I called the main beekeeper and told him what was going on, and he gave me a new queen to replace her with. So now I have to go through the hive and find her, the weak one, and I will replace her with hopefully a strong new mated queen. And yeah, she'll have to be in here for a few days in a cage, and then they'll release her through chewing through a candy plug, and then we'll be in business. But for now, what I have to do is go through this hive real quick and find that queen. And unfortunately, I got a squisher. So we're just gonna hopefully rock through this thing real quick and find that weak queen and just fix the wrongs of the world with this hive. And unfortunately, some of these bees, quite a few of these bees, moved over to the hive that the phone is sitting on, the camera. And so this hive is kind of weak for right now, but hopefully this new queen is super strong and awesome, and she can just catch up quickly. Because man, a good queen can make all the difference. Yeah, this process takes a few minutes just because and this queen actually that I'm looking for is so small that they didn't mark her, so she's got no yellow paint mark on her. So she's a little bit tough to find because not only is she tiny, but she isn't marked. But even with the lack of motivation to grow this hive, at least they did take in some of the sugar water and drew some comb and stored some honey. So at least when the new queen gets going, they'll have some stores in place, so they'll be able to get going pretty quickly. In typical beekeeping fashion, what's probably going to happen here is I'm going to go through this thing and I won't find her because she's little and unmarked, and I'm going to have to go through this thing like twice, which is pretty typical when you're looking for an impossible queen that's kind of lame anyway. What I'm doing here is sometimes the bees all clump up on a frame. It just makes it almost impossible to find the queen. So they don't like your breath, so you blow on them and they kind of scatter. Generally not a real awesome thing to do once the hive gets really big, because they don't like your breath, and boy, they get angry. But yep, she's gonna make me go through this thing a couple of times, so unfortunately this video might be a little longer than I was hoping for. Oh, there she is. I got her. Yep. I found her. So, that's good news. The thing is when they're like this, take your eyes off of them for just a second. And sometimes it is just freaking impossible to find them again, but I got her. Visually, anyway. So, she's right here. Yeah, she kind of got piled up around a bunch of bees. Nice thing is that in this case where I'm trying to actually pin her ass down, there we go. Get in there. Nope. She's not wanting to go in the cage, but she's gonna have to. Get in there. Okay, I got her. Yay! So, not that we're gonna keep her, but you can probably see her right there. I think I'm in the camera. Yeah, you can see her in there. Good. So you can see the yellow dots missing, and you can see she's very small. But for some reason, she's just not a laying queen. So she's got to go. So I'll go show you. I'm gonna run into the truck real quick and grab the new queen, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, I'm back. Now I can show you. So this is how the new queens come. They just come in plastic cans, totes, and they're, and they are specifically replacement queens that they send because, you know, when you're dealing with this level of volume of insects, you're just going to have problems, inevitably. So this comes in this little canister, and these the bees you see here with her are called attendants, and they put a cloth in here soaked with sugar water. So anyway, we'll turn this around so you can see it. But she's inside. I don't know if you can see it with the light, but there's a yellow dot. She's in there. She looks good. So now what we do is we're going to set her right here on this frame of bees with some other bees. And initially, they're not going to be very happy at all. Maybe they will be, just now that I think about it, because a lot of times these queens that are weak, they can sense that, they can feel that. I don't know what the words are, but they get upset. So then here on this instant, I have now replaced their queen with one with a very strong pheromone, and they get very happy for that. And so they notice the strength difference from this queen. So they get excited because this queen is strong. Part of the reason why we keep them in a cage too, it's because with that excitement, they basically love her to death, which kind of sucks, kind of sad, but that's why we protect them. So we're gonna drop these frames in here. Oops. Ooh, just dropped her because I'm losing my own head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, we got what we need here. So now I'm going to set this one. Ooh. Yep, let's give a big chunk of bees right there to get her. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, try and okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm running a toothpick through the middle so I can hang it from the center here, just like this. Okay, put her dead right in the middle. And what I'm going to do here, actually I'm going to move her a little bit further to the center rather than in the back. This is kind of a new method for me as well, so just trying to make sure I get as much of this variable right as possible. Get some bees on top of her is kind of another goal I have. I'm going to grab this frame of bees. There's a lot of bees right here on this end frame. So I'm just going to shake them right there into the middle. So they go to her, because they're going to smell her and be all up in her business. But that's what we want. We want them to appreciate this queen, because the other one was not so good. Yeah, it looks like. Okay, that's okay. Oh, I don't want to. Yeah, I probably should keep a little bit more room here between them. Yeah, well, I don't know if you can see down in the hive, but you can see they're just kind of wadding up around her. They're really liking this pheromone, which is great. Just great. And it looks like they can get to her with no problem. Yeah, I'm definitely liking the activity around the cage, so that means they're definitely attentive to her pheromone, which is highly important. Put the sugar feeder back on this bad boy. Okay. Oops, got some bees here that I gotta. Now I'll just go back inside the hive. Oops. You always get the one, the knucklehead. She has to go and land in the sugar water. So just put her down on the front porch. Get this one off of here. And you put that on there real quick. All right, and we're back in business. So what we're gonna do is, so that that queen cage has a plastic cap on it. And so we're gonna leave that plastic cap in place for the next 2 days. Then I'm gonna come back out here and take the plastic cap off, and underneath the plastic cap is a piece of hard candy, which then takes them 2 more days to chew through that. So they'll have this queen in this cage for the next 4 days, but at the end of that she'll be out, and then again a week later we can check and see where we're at with brood laying. So this hive will be, what you can tell now, probably a solid 2 weeks behind the other hives, but hopefully it'll catch up and this new queen's good to go. So hope this was informational and helpful. Have a good night.